I got into Boston University, University of Massachusetts Amherst. I got rejected from Vanderbilt, UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC San Diego, University of Michigan. In Canada, I applied to University of Toronto, Ryerson University, Brock University, and York.
So Canada is one of the top destinations in the world for international students. But what does it take to get there? Hey friends, welcome to China Coaching. I'm Rob, and we love helping international students and professionals in their cross-cultural journey. In this video, we're going to be sharing the whole process of what it takes to study abroad in Canada. We've got a friend who's doing their undergrad at Toronto right now, and Samridhi has some incredible experience. She had to learn all by herself, and she's going to teach you guys how to go from A to B, which is studying in Canada. Samridhi, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for that introduction, Rob. I really appreciate you saying that I can teach someone, but I don't think so I can just help them. But that being said, I am studying psychology and public policy at University of Toronto right now. I am a junior in U of T. I just got done with my first semester, and yeah, I'm having fun.
Amazing. I'm so excited to learn. This is the first time I'm recording a video about Canada, and I get so many questions, so this is going to be super valuable, people. So Samridhi and I are making another video as well about the real student life in Canada, harsh realities, culture shock, difficult transitions. So be sure to check that out. It's going to help you guys adjust whenever you get there to Canada for study abroad. This video is sponsored by Foreign Admits, one of the most trusted platforms for career counseling and study abroad guidance for students and working professionals. Be sure to check out their new Dream Big Scholarship Initiative, offering $1 million worth of scholarships. They also offer special mentoring and guidance for Ivy League college aspirants. Link in video description to learn more. So let's talk about the very beginning. You're back from India, and why did you choose Canada as your study abroad option?
Two things. One, Canada was one of my major, it was on top of my list, but it wasn't a definite decision for me because I got into a lot of schools in the US too. And when I applied to U of T, I absolutely did not imagine in my wildest dreams that I'm going to get in, because the acceptance rate was really low for my program, and I didn't think I would. And this one night, I remember, I think it was early January, and it was very cold in India. And around at 10:30, 11, I ended up opening my portal, and I opened it on my phone. And because the interface is not designed for a mobile phone, the entire page was overlapped. So I saw admitted, but there was something on it. So I'm like, I think I'm misreading it. Hold up. And I went to my room, and my mom saw me get into my room, and I was really stressed out. And then I opened it, and I said it was admitted into my program. And the acceptance rate at the time that I admitted into economics was, I think, 15 or 16%. It was a dream come true for me. And that's when the decision of choosing whether I should go to the US and Canada started. So that was one, the acceptance rate, because I really wanted to go to an elite name school. So that. And number two would be the expenses. So I knew that if I got into UCs, and I knew that my parents wouldn't be able to afford the kind of international fees that I would have to pay at University of California. So I think finances would be a really major reason that I did choose Canada, because one, the US dollar is higher than Canadian, and I do pay lesser than tuition in the US. But yeah, that would be two of the major reasons that I chose Canada.
That's great and really helpful for students to understand. So let's go back and talk about your profile. What kind of profile in terms of numbers, grades, kind of things was required and was helpful for you in applying to these kind of colleges?
I would say that at a very young age, I knew that I wanted to do this. India is a beautiful country. I love it as a country, but
Me too.
Yes. But I knew that I did not want to stay there for my higher education. So I started working towards building my resume since a very early age. I published my first book when I was 17. I was always there at sports. I would debate. There was so many things that I was doing just so that I wanted to have an application that if I submitted to a university, they said that, you know what, I want this child here. I want them here. I'm going to give them financial aid I want this candidate to be a part of my school. And for you to do that, even though I think it's a dream, it's a goal, but you need to start working really, really hard for it and at a very young age, because they don't just look at your scores. Like there'll be people with like a full score or a 90 on a 90, 100 on 100, but then they look at you as individuals. What have you done that's separate? Because this is an undergrad degree. You need to prove yourself as an individual. Because when I went for I'm going to be applying for a master's, and that's going to be me trying to prove how much I know about what I'm going to do. But right now I need, like, admission officers want to know, what can you add to their school? You know, are you an asset to their school? And I wanted to be that. So I started with elocutions. I was in the student council. I used to swim. I used to dance. I used to paint. And it's not just me doing those things. I had awards and trophies to prove that. So I remember that when I applied to U of T, they asked me, they asked me each and every medal that I got, and I had to put it in along with the state, like the recognition of the medal, whether it was state, zonal, national, international. And it took me so long. I haven't felt this proud in a really long time. It's giving me all the serotonin that I needed for the day. That I think years and years of hard work paid off that day, where I was just doing add field, because there were so many that I had to add. And I think that's one of the major reasons that I was accepted to U of T, because when I look around, there are people who are brilliant. They have done brilliant things. We come in thinking that we know a lot, and then you're among brilliance again. Looks like not a lot. But I think other than that, you just need to have a very holistic, like for an undergrad, like you need to understand that when an admission officer treats your application, that your essay is you. That's a mirror to you and your life. So that is the only way he will be able, and people are able to see through crap. Like they are not doing this for the first time. So when people like fake their essays or exaggerate things, they will be able to see through it.
Yeah, and I think the keyword you used was holistic. And that is so true when trying to go to Western countries to study like Canada and America. It's more than just your number. It's more than a GPA or ranking, because everyone's smart. It's having a life outside of the classroom. It's extracurriculars.
In a set to the university.
Exactly. And that is how you get into a top university in America or Canada. So I totally agree. And you're a great example for that. So thanks for sharing. So Samridhi, please tell us now about the application process. What do people and students need to do to actually apply and try to get into these colleges in Canada?
So when I applied, it was 3 years back, and there was one single application that we had to apply through, and then we could add a couple of other universities in that. But now I think they have changed it, because I tried to Google it and I couldn't find that single application. So now you have to go to the universities that you want to apply to and go on their particular website and then apply through them. But I think there is one like if you apply to one university, you can apply to multiple campuses of the same university, and you do not need to go and individually apply to that. But for universities, I think it's individually you have to apply to each of them.
And is there any kind of entrance exams or tests that are required as well?
I took SATs because I had to apply to the US as well. And I sent my SAT scores, even though they weren't required. I just wanted to make sure that they saw that I'm not like dumb entirely, like I'm kind of smart. So I sent my SAT scores to all of the Canadian universities. They said that it's not mandatory, but if you send it, we consider it. And I'm like, sure, of course, it's good. So I sent my SAT scores, and you have to take one English exam, either IELTS or TOEFL. For even though I studied in English school, like English was probably the first language that I learned back in India as well, but they still said that there should be one proof of language. And I took IELTS. No, I took TOEFL, but you can take either IELTS or TOEFL.
Sounds pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and just follow the instructions on the university websites. So you guys can definitely handle that on your own. No need to pay for someone else to fill out the applications.
Trust me.
Yeah, no need to pay for someone to fill out the applications for you.
Or if you have the money to go for it.
Okay, so if it might be helpful then.
I think that no, like I was kidding. I think for me, it's very subjective. I would rather not speak for other people, because I've had people come to me and say like, you know what, I handled dash and dash counselor and they were very helpful. They helped me through my essays and etc. etc. But for me, I am someone who wants to work on my things myself. I like to hone each and everything, and I would go through everything with a very fine-tooth comb. And I don't know if someone that I'm paying would be able to do it with the same dedication. So I'm just very OCD about it. But of course, like if someone can and if someone does need help, you should definitely go for it. I did not have the resources to, and I wanted to work on it myself because I knew that the amount of effort that I'm gonna put into it, nobody else. But I can say this for sure: no amount of money or counselors that you hire is going to put in the same amount of effort that you put in your own application. Like I would be up until 4 a.m. working on my application, and I had school at 6. So I would be working. There would be weeks where I would be working on a 4 or 5 hour sleep schedule, and 3 some days, and then I would be sleeping in school. Like, why is she sleeping all the time?
It's great practice too, because in Western countries like Canada and America, you have to do everything yourself.
Oh, definitely.
It's a very independent country. And so if you are learning to do those things yourself in your process to get there, that's going to better prepare you, because you can't depend on people there to do the stuff for you, maybe like in your home country. So it's a good practice. Here's a special opportunity for helping you to achieve your dream of going abroad. Foreign Admits founders have firsthand experience of the process and hard work that goes behind studying at your dream university. Passion and dedication runs deep in this ed tech startup, right from evaluating which course aligns best with the career goals of the student or working professional to assisting in getting the student visa. Foreign Admits guides and supports at every step of the study abroad dream. The recent initiative by Foreign Admits answers the biggest challenge of every ambition student: funds. The Dream Big Scholarship by Foreign Admits is India's largest private study abroad scholarship and offers scholarships worth $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Moreover, this scholarship program offers students up to 100% tuition fee waiver across over 5,000 courses in 500 plus universities. With this program, Foreign Admits wants to give every student the opportunity to grow to their fullest potential, and funds should not come in their way. The Dream Big Scholarship is open to all students willing to apply for postgraduate degree in the UK, US, and Canada. A student can apply for this by simply filling and stating your career goals, for example, which country you are targeting, which course you are interested in, do you plan on giving GMAT, GRE, or other tests, etc. Well, if all this didn't sound enough to you, this program also gives free flight travel insurance and lots of exciting offers. Make sure you check out the Dream Big Scholarship by Foreign Admits right now. Also, if you're targeting Ivy League colleges and are not sure what goes into a successful application for it, Foreign Admits has a solution for this, and that too is free of cost. You can book a free mentorship call with alumni of Ivy League colleges. These mentors are meticulously selected, and it's ensured that they align with the overall vision of Foreign Admits to help students unleash their potential. You can also book more one-on-one sessions with 3 mentors of your choice to seek guidance at every step of your application to Ivy League colleges. Links are in the video description to sign up and learn more. All right, so Samridhi, now let's talk about your admits. Tell us the college admits you get, maybe both in America and Canada, and kind of what your shortlisting process was like for making that decision.
It's going to be it's very funny when I say that I applied to a lot of schools, because I was very underconfident about getting into any of them to start with. I got into Boston University, University of Massachusetts Amherst. I got rejected from Vanderbilt, UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC San Diego, University of Michigan. There were a couple of more that I'm forgetting, but there were a lot that I applied to. In Canada, I applied to University of Toronto, Ryerson University, Brock University, and York. After I got admitted into the universities in Canada, there were 2 options that were really good. One would have been Ryerson, because Ryerson is probably 1/4 of the amount of money that I would have had to pay in U of T. It's a school that's going to help you get a job, because it's a very work-based school.
Yeah, very practical.
Yeah, very practical. Like, they are going to get you internships. Like, the school is going to help you itself. Like, U of T doesn't really care. Once you graduate, Like, bye. I do not know you. But Ryerson is a very practical school that way. And so those 2 were one of the major decisions that I had to make. But at the same time, I feel that U of T is like, I got the chance to study. I had a lecture with Jordan Pearson. He's a very decorated professor in psychology, and he's a U of T prof. And I think the few things that were important to me were there at U of T, and Ryerson couldn't have given me that. So yeah, but I think it's still very subjective because Ryerson has really good education and you'll end up getting a really, really good job if you graduate from there.
Awesome. And before, at the very beginning, you talked about how University of Toronto, again, it was mainly the prestigious name, but then also the finances that kind of came down to it, correct?
Yeah, I think that's exactly how I shortlisted. Like you need to look into your major and search, because there are so many places that wouldn't be that good for your major, but like ASU, for example, isn't the best school in the US, but one of my friends who's big on tech goes to ASU, and I think it's really good for computer science. So there are so many things that are taken into account when we choose a school, right? Like finances, what we look for in a school, what's the job prospect once you graduate from that school for your major, because I think major and the program that we choose is such an imperative part of the entire process, because it's the base of where you want to settle, right? For example, if you're into tech and people would rather want to stay near the West Coast.
No, that's great. And yeah, I totally agree. There's so many factors that go into shortlisting. We have a great video on Chai Coaching that covers the several important factors, way more than just ranking and location. But course is a big one as well. So be sure to check that out. And you guys, our Chai question for this video is, which colleges in Canada are you most interested in studying at? So let us know in the comments which college or universities there in Canada are you most interested or excited about. I know Samridhi has applied to several there in Canada and gave some good information about some. So let us know in the comments. And now let's wrap this up. Samridhi, you've got your admission, you've got your college chosen. What do you do now? What tips are there for students to prepare to move to Canada? What do they have to do kind of between once they get that admission to actually getting on the plane?
It's a very good question, but I think they should start by spending loads of time with their family, because you won't get to do that once you move. During the pandemic, I could have gone back, but because there was a lockdown and there were so many other things, I couldn't. So there is no way that you're going to get to spend those long periods of time with family. So I think that's something that they should start cherishing as soon as they get their acceptance letter. Number two would be they should start gathering documents for their visa, because you got admitted. But that is the first step of you going there, right? So to start with the visa process, you need to get financial assets. So start collecting documents, because at the end of the day, if you have help, if you have parents who are able to help you with that, or people, sure, kudos. But if you don't, you have to do it yourself. For starters, it would be making sure you have a valid passport. You need to book an appointment. You have to fill in medical information for your visa, because you need to get a medical exam, and it's different for people applying for universities. So there are so many things that are like the logistical details. I think that's a whole new video that we need to make on the logistical details, and I won't really get into too much into it. But yeah, that would be something that I would start doing. Start probably shopping, maybe. I think that initially when I came here, I would be, oh my god, $1.56. Oh my goodness, I don't think so I can get this packet of Lays. So I tried to get as much as I could from India. So I got all my basics and my essentials in there. I think start shopping and just spending time with your family and cherishing those moments that you have at home.
Amazing. I love it. Such great advice. You guys who are watching, if this video has been helpful, give a big like and thumbs up to say thanks to Samridhi. And Samridhi, thanks so much for taking some time. I know it's New Year's Eve. It's a crazy end of 2020, but this has been so fun hearing your story, telling your journey. It's going to help so many people. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun to speak to you. And if I am able to help anyone, one single person, I would be happy. This is worth it.
I want to thank our sponsors, Foreign Admits, one more time. Be sure to check out the links in the video description to learn about the Dream Big Scholarship Initiative and special Ivy League college guidance. Definitely. And we're going to be making another video with Samridhi as well about real student life, the challenges, the hardships, the culture shock, kind of the real stuff that people don't always talk about. So be sure to check out that video as well. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us at Chai Coaching. We love helping you guys be successful in your cross-cultural journeys. Be sure to subscribe and connect with us online on social media. Thanks so much for tuning in, friends, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.